Darwin Nunez is an absolute monster. He's an absolute G. Big claim. If he played for Manchester City, he would be better than Haaland. He would be better than Haaland. Oh my God. Oh my Allah. Ya Allah. How did this happen? Somebody needs to explain this to me, right? Somebody really needs to explain this to me, because I can't fathom the capitulation, the humiliation, the crumbling of this Manchester United team. Many of these players we've seen do this before, by the way. Luke Shaw, David De Gea, Diego Dallo. These sorts of players we've seen crumble before. Fred, McTominay, even Bruno, the man himself. I don't understand it though. Someone needs to explain it to me, because 10 days ago, this team scored 2 goals to beat and knock out Barcelona in the Europa League. The same Barcelona team that have only conceded 7 goals in 22 games in the league this season. And then Manchester United put 4 past them in 2 games. How does that work? The same Barcelona then goes and beats Real Madrid 3-1. Real Madrid, the same team who beat Liverpool 2 weeks ago, 5-2. Now this Liverpool side has gone to beat this Man United side, which you technically think is on top, is in the best form, is playing the best football out of all these 4 teams. They put 7 past United at Anfield, and oh my God, we need to take a second, man. We need to take a second to really think about how that happened, why it happened, and I'm lost for words. I'm lost for words. And as the Urban Ballers, we are actually a neutral channel. I'm a Man United fan, but I've spoken about the beginning of the end of Liverpool. I called it last season, and maybe it was a little bit extreme, but I did see what was happening. I did see what would happen to Liverpool this season. And the fact that they hadn't replaced Wijnaldum was the biggest thing for me. Then they went and sold Mane, but Mane wasn't the biggest problem for me. Wijnaldum still is the biggest problem. Because with Wijnaldum last year, this Liverpool team probably wins either the Champions League or the Premier League. One of those two, I guarantee, if Wijnaldum was still at the club, or if they brought in a good enough replacement, they win one of those 2 tournaments. Because they came that close. But because of that, because they hadn't replaced that player that Wijnaldum was, I didn't see Liverpool doing much this season. And you know what? You can watch what they're doing now. They're doing the same thing they've done every year. Even when they have a dip of form, they pull the results together and they do come back stronger and stronger and stronger. But did anyone believe that this Liverpool team this season was capable of doing what they did to Manchester United last year at Old Trafford? I don't think so. And unfortunately for Manchester United, this again has happened when they go away to a big team. It's happened now, even under Ten Hag. 6-3 at the Etihad, the 3-1 at the Emirates, even though they played well at the Emirates. But you can see this team as a team that you can beat away from home. At Old Trafford, very difficult to beat this team. But again, that you can reverse that and say, wow, Anfield tonight, rocking. Anfield, I was watching the game, and you know what? I'm never someone who likes to blame the referee, especially the referees at that level. We, at the amateur level, when I'm coaching, I get so frustrated with the referees because obviously they're amateur referees. They're not the best. They're not the fittest. Their eyesight's not the best. Most of them are over 50. Most of them can't keep up with the play. So when you get a good ref, you really appreciate them, actually. And we don't have linesmen at our level in our division. So those decisions really annoy me. So when I watch Premier League football, I just think to myself, when people complain about refs, it's like, it's once in every 100 decisions, maybe even more than that, where you can see, wow, that is a big blunder. And today, there wasn't many big blunders, but the little decisions went towards Liverpool, and that's what Anfield can do. That's what a rocking Anfield can do. And you know what? This game was needed for Liverpool. This game for Liverpool was their resurgence. This game was the game where they told themselves, they picked themselves in that locker room, in that changing room, they're together, and they know with 5-0 this team last year, they're not that different. In fact, they've got Weghorst instead of Ronaldo. In fact, they're not even playing a traditional winger on the other side to Marcus Rashford. They're playing Bruno, who's technically a midfielder. Weghorst is playing number 10. It's one of those things where you think to yourself, that same team, the Liverpool team, or a similar team last year, went and put 5 past not too dissimilar a Manchester United team. The one difference being Casemiro. That's the big difference. Rashford's form this season. But today, I have to admit, I do believe that Manchester United got it wrong. Erik ten Hag got it wrong. And probably the biggest time we've seen where we think, do you know what? He's not pulled it out of the bag today. That Weghorst in number 10, I just didn't like it. It just didn't sit well with me. For going from the form that led to where we are today was Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno dominating the midfield. And you know what? Eriksen was missing big time today because he's someone who gets on the ball and just calms the play down. No one else can do it like him in the Manchester United team. He is our register. He is the player who makes it tick. But against the smaller teams, or somehow against even the Barcas of the world, even against some good opposition, we've managed to see out games without Eriksen. But today, when Casemiro's not playing at his best, when Anfield is rocking, when they get at you from early and they get the belief, they got the goal at the right time in the first half, it just didn't go Manchester United's way. But again, to dissect that performance, why does Bruno play on the left wing for probably the first time this season? He's played on the right, and it makes sense. Sometimes he just gets the ball on the right foot, bang, crosses it in. But then why is Weghorst playing in the number 10 as well? Now he's not going to be able to get in the box and challenge for the big headers. Why is Marcus Rashford not being left one-on-one with Trent Alexander-Arnold? Why is he not doing that? Trent Alexander-Arnold is one player who Rashford, from his very early in his career, has absolutely demolished. Demolished him with that cutback, that chop, that Ronaldo chop, finished it in the other corner against Karius, the OG. And for me, I want Marcus Rashford in this form against Trent all game. I don't want him against Konate and Virgil van Dijk. And the other player I think we're missing is Sancho. Earlier at Old Trafford, early in the season, Sancho had an amazing game against this Liverpool side. And yes, this is a different Liverpool side. But still, I wanted to see Sancho today. Because these are players that they fear. That this Liverpool team fears. I wanted to see Garnacho earlier. When it wasn't going well, I wanted to see Garnacho earlier. I wanted to see Anthony off. I want to see Garnacho on one wing. I want to see Rashford on the other wing. I want to see Weghorst up top. Or I want to see Garnacho on the left wing, Rashford up top. I want to see Bruno on the right. I want to see more from the midfield. But it did really show. And I was actually talking to a friend of mine who also watches the Urban Ballers, an Arsenal fan, who's probably sent me a DM mocking what I was saying earlier, the confidence I was talking with about Manchester United earlier in the day, literally today, voice noting all day, about comparing Arsenal and Manchester United. But I did say in that chat, I did tell him, I said, look, these are two very different teams. We're not at the same stage. This is the start of the stage. We still need to give Erik ten Hag a few more windows. And today we saw that. Erik ten Hag didn't look on his bench and think, I can sub Casemiro right now. Didn't think I can sub Fred right now. Didn't think I can sub any of those midfielders right now. Weghorst is playing number 10, guys. That's the problem. That's the problem. And we have to have faith. We have to calm down. Yes, it's a very bad result. This team's got to come back out the next game and score 4 goals, get back to the way we're playing, because we were never going to win the league. And even I admit that. The day we lost to Arsenal at the Emirates, that's the day we were out of the league charge, and good, because you need to focus, as Manchester United, we need to focus on one thing, and that's one thing only: more silverware. Europa League, FA Cup. Give it your best shot against teams that you can fight against teams that are there or thereabouts in your level, against teams who on the day you can beat them, right? Manchester City and Arsenal are way too good. This season, Arsenal are way too good for us, way too consistent. The belief is good. We've got good belief, but they've got unreal belief. Same goes for Manchester City. The last 6 years, they've just got that unbelievable belief in that team. You know they believe, like, more than you believe. So like I said in the last episode, guys, of the Urban Ballers, I don't care about Premier League. I don't care about FA Cup. I don't care about the Europa League. I care about Carabao Cup. Yo, that's Ten Hag right now. But guys, yo, for all of our Liverpool fan friends, yeah, the ones who we've absolutely ridiculed, the ones who on this channel we've absolutely gone in on Liverpool. The reason is the overhyped fans. The overhyped fans. When a team overhypes their fans, we love to go in on the Urban Ballers. We do the opposite of any other channel. Every other channel tries to keep fans on board. We don't like to do that on the Urban Ballers. We like the banter. We give, we take. So on that note, we have to admit, give credit where credit is due. Not saying that this Liverpool team doesn't have problems in that midfield. But outside Anfield, you can watch our video. I'm going to plug it right now. Outside Anfield, I spoke to a good friend of ours, a new friend of ours. We gave him an interview. I consoled him. I told him, look, Elliot is a good player. He'll have his good games. He'll have his all right games. But we need better than Elliot. Or Liverpool need better than Elliot. Henderson is a good player. Of course, on his day, an amazing player. Has had the best of the best of the best of times. You know, overachieved in his career, in my opinion. Compared to his level of, technical ability, compared to his, to the class of player that he is, overachieved massively. And that's credit to the mentality, credit to the leadership, credit to desire, credit to, that's it, the mentality monsters that Klopp's teams are. Credit to Klopp, really, to make a play like that. But he's coming to the end of his time. The one player I did say in that midfield who just having a bad time, but you can't really say that he's done or finished or anything like that, is Fabinho. Fabinho is a player I'd want to keep. Henderson, yeah, for some games. And this game, he knows it well. He turned up. Elliot turned up today. But I do believe that still Liverpool need two better players next to Fabinho. And then still keep Thiago, still keep Henderson, still keep Elliot, and literally get rid of the rest. Curtis Jones, Chamberlain, Bajektic as well. Keep Bajektic. Get rid of the rest of them. Milner, anyone else who touches a Keita, get rid of all of them. Refresh that midfield. Bring energy, bring youth, bring Mason Mount. You can't bring Bellingham. Maybe you can. But if you can bring Bellingham, bring him. That's who you need. You need the new Hendersons of the world. You need the new Wijnaldums of the world. You need the new top players for Liverpool. Up top, however, this is where I've told every Liverpool fan I've spoke to in the last year. Darwin Nunez is an absolute monster. He's an absolute G. Big claim. If he played for Manchester City, he would be better than Haaland. He would be better than Haaland. He might not score as many goals, but for the team, he would be better than Haaland. The team would score more goals with Darwin Nunez than Haaland. Does that make sense, guys? This is me being honest and real. What I believe. I've told every person about Nunez. When he gets that confidence, this guy is going to kill everybody. I've seen him live a couple of times this season. I saw him live at the Etihad. He absolutely tore that team apart. And every week you watch him, every time you watch him, apart from the final product, it's been missing. But now it's coming. That's why the Liverpool fans love him. They see the desire. They see the hunger. He's not Mane. He's not Mane with his feet. Mane with his feet is something else. But he does have that Mane engine. He does have that Mane aggression. He does have that ridiculous work rate. He does have that ridiculous burst of pace. He does have ridiculous strength. And you know the boy can finish. That's why he's scored 30 goals nearly in the Portuguese league last year. You know the boy can finish because he's at Liverpool Football Club. It's just not come, but it will come now. The other player, guys, unfortunately for anyone who's not a Liverpool fan, we have to admit this as well. Cody Gakpo, he's a baller. He's a baller. That's why I've said to every Liverpool fan that I know, you don't have to worry about the front three, man. You don't have to worry about the front five, the front six. Think about it. Jota was injured. Diaz was injured. Or maybe still injured. Jota's back. Firmino's around. Yo, it's ridiculous. Diaz is going to be back. That front six, yo, it's ridiculous. Yo, if you played Firmino, Jota and Diaz, any team would have a good front line with those three. They name me a team that those three don't get in. Maybe Firmino wouldn't start, but he'd get into the squad of most big teams. But Jota and Diaz, I'd take them both at United. Manchester City could do with Jota, I'd say. Maybe even Diaz. But Manchester City could definitely do with a Jota type player. And then look at Chelsea, what they're doing right now. Diaz would walk into that team, eyes closed. Look at the Arsenal team, actually. Look at the Arsenal team. Would, instead of Trossard in this window just gone, would Arteta had Jota been, available and not injured? Would he go for Jota? Would he go for Diaz? Okay, it's more difficult at Arsenal because Trossard was a baller and they did buy him. Martinelli's doing bits. Saka's amazing. But you'd add them to your squad definitely because Reece Nelson obviously scored an absolutely, probably a season-winning, Premier League winning goal only yesterday, but he's not really cutting it. That bench isn't cutting it. Since Trossard's come, the bench is looking much better. But before that, the bench had Nketiah and Reece Nelson on it. And we can all admit, Nketiah is just... Let's not talk about Arsenal. But Nketiah is just not on that level. Nketiah is not a Premier League winning striker sort of levels. Unfortunately, he's going to get a medal. And let's all pray that he doesn't. Anyway, guys, I think I've said enough. I've ranted enough. It's not a rant. It's the reality. For Manchester United, if I'm going to summarise, they've had a bad game, but it shows the flaws and shows that the project is nowhere nearly finished. Hopefully this humbles some Man U fans. I was one of them fans who always said Manchester United are not going to win the league. But I never said no because I just thought if the teams around us slip up, we could catch them. But as soon as Arsenal beat us at the Emirates, I said it's over because Arsenal are too far away. And City, it's not the team that you're going to catch. City's not the team you want to catch. It's just if City slipped away far enough, then I thought, maybe Man U could enter this. But really and truly, it wasn't realistic to think we would win the league in Erik ten Hag's first season. However, for Manchester United, we can now see the gaps, see the flaws. Without Eriksen, we're looking very, very, very booky. That's the best way to put it. And you have to look up front. Do we have enough killers up there? The answer is definitely not. And is Erik ten Hag not believing in Garnacho enough? Come on. You got to put that boy on, man. It's a big game. I think you wanted Garnacho starting. I'm not going to lie. Garnacho needs to start that game. And do we need another killer? We do need a killer striker. We do need someone of the type of player that Nunez is. The type of player that I would say my favourite exact striker that I would want. They may not exist right now. But Jimenez from Wolves a few years ago when he was in flying form, that's the kind of player. Cavani when he was a bit younger. Osimhen maybe is the player actually. That's maybe the player I'm looking at. Osimhen. People are saying Harry Kane. He's a killer. He's a killer. You got to admit, but I don't think he's a Man United player. He's not a winner. And you got to be a winner to come and, especially you want to take this team from not winning to being a winner. The last player you want is a Tottenham Hotspur product. They don't know how to win. So, and I'm being real. I know it's a joke. It's a bit of ha at Tottenham, but really and truly, they don't know how to win. That team doesn't know how to win. So, no matter what, they've had winning managers, they've had winning players. They go to Tottenham, they stop winning. So yeah, that's not the solution. But really and truly, we need to bulk up on that midfield. We need to bulk up, definitely bulk up on the strike force. Maybe look at the defense a little bit. I'm not sure. Do they have a crumble in them? I think they do have a crumble in them. That one would leave to Ten Hag to solve. For Liverpool fans, this is probably the result that's going to get them back on board with Klopp. I think we can never underestimate Klopp. Even me, when I was saying this is the beginning of the end for Liverpool, I was saying that based on the fact that they needed to invest heavily. And you know what? They've actually invested heavily in the right players. They just need to now invest the same amount in that midfield line and definitely in that defensive line. They definitely need to invest in new defenders. Just to at least, if Trent's playing well, someone to compete with him. Because Trent right now has got no one who's making him play better to make sure he keeps that shirt. Same with Robertson. Same with Virgil van Dijk. Even though he's a classy centre-back. Same with him. So they need to be pushed. These players need to be pushed. So that's why I would bolster up the defence a bit. But the midfield, it needs new starters. I want to see, if I'm a Liverpool fan, Fabinho start with 2 new midfielders by the start of next season. I want to see Mount, and I want to see another midfielder who's got a bit more number 10 about him, a bit more creativity about him, but can still run. I don't know if that player exists. That player is probably Luka Modric 5 years ago, 10 years ago. That's what I'm looking at. I want Mount on one side, working his guts off. I want Fabinho behind the team, covering it off, boxing it off, and I want to see someone of the caliber of a Modric at 28 years old, ready to run up the midfield, tackle, can do everything basically with a football. Can pass, can dribble, can do the magic. You want Thiago, but with an engine. You want Thiago, but with defensive nous. That's what you want as Liverpool. So, with that being said, guys, I know I've not really plugged the channel. It was just a rant. But if you are new, make sure you do subscribe. And don't be a bell. If you're not new and you're watching this long, click the notification bell because you clearly love the Urban Ballers content. And make sure as well that you remember that you yourself are an Urban Baller. Your opinion on the game does matter. So tell us what you think about what I've said in this video below. Peace.